Welcome to the demonstration of the Operations Center and Video Analytics presented by IBM, Smarter Cities. We're going to demonstrate today the stadium scenario where we can enable video analytics throughout the Georgia Dome to capture a variety of important events, such as customers entering and leaving secure areas, such as drivers performing dangerous operations in the parking areas, and such as bags or property being left behind in the skybox. I'm going to use the Operations Center as seen here, which provides me with many different views of the data and many different actions that I can take in order to better view and analyze and have a full 360-degree view of the situation. Full situational awareness is presented here in a geospatial map. You can see I'm zoomed in towards the Georgia Dome, and I have a variety of features on the taskbar that I can take advantage of throughout the day in order to do my work more effectively. I have a variety of views. I have several additional actions I can take. I have a dashboard which presents me with key performance indicators and up-to-the-minute status of how my work is going. I can receive alerts here. I can see video. I can see my contacts through chat. I can see activities which are going to be relevant to any standard operating procedures which I walk through in my role as an operator. I have filters, saved filters. I can see a legend of what the data sources are that are being displayed and how many of each item there are. I can see this information on the timeline. I can run various analytics and see it in a set of charts and graphs. The Operations Center also provides geospatial awareness through the integration with external systems. For example, this Operations Center is integrated with a weather system and a traffic system to bring in weather alerts and alerts related to car accidents around the stadium. To see those, I'm going to open up the filter panel, and I'm going to check the two external systems that we've enabled to send in regional alerts. When I display these on the map, I can zoom out and see two weather alerts that have been fed into the system through external systems and two traffic accidents. For example, we can see that there's heavy rain and a storm approaching from the northwest that should reach the stadium near game time. Similarly, we can see that there's been a minor collision on a lane exiting towards the west parking lot. Having this geospatial awareness is very valuable, but even more so is having a full view of the location inside the stadium to see exactly where events are happening inside the stadium based on the floor plan of our particular arena. I can click on the floor plan here to bring up the full map of the stadium. You can see here that when I reach this page, I have a much better view of the stadium layout. I can also see where the different events have been taking place throughout the stadium, which corresponds to where my cameras are set up, where the analytics for those cameras are defined, and how that information flows into my dashboard. You can see on the right that when I choose to click on this cluster of two events, I have two events triggered through the video analytics in the parking area that show me that the median has been crossed. I can select any of those events and I can see a preview card that shows exactly what happened. And you can see here that the video analytics has captured this central region of the road and has captured the exact frame in which this car crossed the median. I also have various information about this particular alert, such as its details, its severity is detected by the analytics, various camera ID name and area and VMS definitions, as well as start times so that I can go back and play this video and see exactly when it happened. And I'm going to demonstrate that now. When I open up the IVA video player, I have the exact footage of this car crossing the median, and we could see exactly where that happened. If I wanted to, I could pause it, I could play it backwards, I could play it back frame by frame, and we could see exactly what happened here in real time. And I can even skip to the live footage to see what's happening right now, down to the minute, based on the activity on that particular road. Similarly, I can see person entering events that are coming in from the west gate. This is triggered every time somebody enters in a particular direction and a particular directional vector towards this front gate that we've configured through our video analytics. These events will fire into the Operations Center every time this particular entry is breached, when certain hours are defined, and those hours are times that we do not expect the person to be entering the stadium through the west gate. You can see similarly that when I want to view the video for this, I can bring that up immediately in the same player and get live footage showing the person arriving, walking up to the gate, triggering the analytics because of the time of day, the capture of the person, and the direction in which he or she was walking. I also have another type of event which has been triggered through video analytics, which corresponds to abandoned bags being left behind in the skybox. This abandoned bag is important because we don't know if this has been an act of terrorism or a possible criminal activity of depositing a bomb. In order to discover part of what's happening here and to really get a good sense of how this bag was abandoned, where it came from, and who left it there, let's play the video. You can see immediately we're watching the video, we see people coming through, and we can clearly see the bag is abandoned on the windowsill. Let me play it backwards, and let's see if we can go into the past and find the time at which that bag was left behind. Right there, you can see the person who left the bag behind, and we could play step by step or frame by frame in order to get a better view of this person. Also, what's key is that our analytics have been capturing and running behind the scenes during this entire activity. So we have full footage available in our video analytics suite, and we're going to go in and do some investigation there, as you'll see shortly. Now, because I verified that this was actually an abandoned bag left by a person who didn't appear to be a guest in the skybox, this arouses a lot of suspicion. Let's go ahead and launch a standard operating procedure so that we can react appropriately to an event of this severity, and which you can see is rated by the analytics suite as severe. I'm going to launch an SOP, and I'm going to select Handle Stadium Alert, which is a generic SOP that we've defined in coordination with all of the appropriate security personnel who manage operations in the stadium to follow an approved set of tasks. And this set of tasks and activities can be verified and tracked and traced and audited in the future so that we know that the activities have been followed correctly by me, the operator. Now that we have triggered the standard operating procedure, a list of activities based on that pre-configured and customizable flow of required response events has been assigned to me. And I can see here on the dashboard that my activities is flagged with a 1. This indicates that I have new activities that I need to take action on. You can see here that my activities show clearly a Handle Stadium Alert SOP has been triggered. It's been triggered in response to an abandoned bag event, and the date and time at which it was started is shown here. When I expand it, I can see each of the activities that I need to perform. The first activity says to perform a forensic search in the video surveillance. Thankfully, I have the help of my colleague, the video surveillance operator, who's going to take it from here.
Thanks, Jake. So when we start this SOP, I'm supposed to search for people at this point, and I've got a description of the person, and that can come over in the comments of the SOP. So I would see the description of the person I'm looking for and the time frame that I'm looking for that person. So I would then go and select all of my people search cameras, which are grouped together, and select my time frame that I want to search for. In this case, I'm going to search for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to specify the description of the person I'm looking for. So in this case, the person observed on video had about a medium skin tone, was starting to lose some hair, and was wearing a solid black shirt. So knowing the person that I was looking for, by looking at the video of the alert, I can then search for that person on different cameras. So I specify the criteria, the time frame, and the cameras I want to search, and I just go ahead and submit. And now I have 2 different cameras. We'll note that there's not people on this video that match that criteria well. So I'm just going to switch this to a strip view so I can look at the next camera. And I actually do have that person on video. So he's one of the best matches for the criteria I specified. And so now I can look at the video to verify that's the person I'm looking for. And indeed it is. So at this point, I've located him. And the camera location, it's been configured in IVA with a position. So I don't have to know where this camera is as this operator. All I have to do is say, yes, I've found the person that you're looking for. And I can then submit an event back to IOC and say, person found, or whatever I want to put here. In this case, the severity is going to be severe because it is a security event. And then I'm going to go ahead and send it to IOC. And that will then alert the IOC operator that I have found that person, and that will show up on the map. At this point, the IOC operator knows that he's been looking for a result of that forensic search. So you would then go into a filter mode that, in this case, you're looking for your forensic search results. So I can then refresh the view, and let's get back to our map here. And now this is where the person has been found. And so this is the exact keyframe that was sent again, and this is in response to that SOP, and it allows the operator now to see where it was found on the map, and also he can look at the video to also verify that that is the person of interest. And at this point, he can say, yes, we found the person, we know where he is, and he can go back to the activity and continue with the SOP. So, Jake?
Thank you, Frank, and thanks for that thorough integration between your video search capabilities and feeding it right back into the operations center. So now that you've done all the research to forensically search through all of these hours and hours of video footage and return the exact result of that specific suspicious character within seconds, and you put that straight back into the operations center. I have that event now, and I've seen that footage that you shared with me. So now I can complete that activity and move on through the required activities of my SOP. For one, I can associate the forensic search results with the original abandoned bag event. I can click on the forensic search. I can click actions, and I can manage the associated items. I do this so that I can have a record that tracks that this forensic search was a result of searching on this particular security alert. This shows me the details for the abandoned bag alert to which I'm associating it. I can see the association was made successfully, and now this association between the abandoned bag alert and the forensic search result is saved in the operations center. With that done, I can open up my standard operating procedure, and I can complete the activity. Now I'm going to proceed to the next step of the activities, which is to notify the responders. At this point, we really have to make sure that police and security are able to respond to this because we've detected that there's some possible wrongdoing, and we've even assembled video evidence for that. In order to notify the responders, we have a template that comes up, and this gives me the opportunity to enter an email address, to use a predefined template that includes the subject, the message, and I can even add additional context based on what the operations center has detected. I'm going to include information about the specific activity. I'm also going to include information about what SOP is running. And finally, I'm going to add all of the event context into the body of this message. This is where I could go ahead and send this. But for the moment, let's cancel this out. Once I've notified all the responders, I'm going to complete this activity as well and move on to the final step of the SOP, which is to escalate to the head of operations. Because this is an important security event in the stadium, I really want to make sure that this is handled properly and that the head of operations is notified. Finally, by completing this activity, this completes all of the activities of this SOP, and it is marked complete, saved in the system, and will remain there for purposes of auditability and tracing in the future. And when I refresh my activities, I see that there's nothing left to do. This particular abandoned bag alert has been handled thoroughly. I'm back to my dashboard. I'm ready to continue doing my work, maintaining the security of the stadium, while our responders are currently hustling the scene with all the information we've assembled for them, thanks to the video analytics and the Operations Center integration. Now, let's take a look back and see all the progress we made. We have charts and graphs that show everything that we've actually performed today, including the ability to see the results by time of the various data sources. We have alerts that have come in through a variety of video data sources, including the security, customer traffic, customer satisfaction, and vehicle traffic. And we can see a breakdown of all of those different types of events triggered by our video analytics over time. You can see today we have 1 of this particular type of event, 9 of these, 6 of these, and we can see a better breakdown in pie chart form by scrolling down. It looks like the vast majority of events coming into our system have only affected customer satisfaction. For example, crowding at a particular counter at the skybox, which might imply slow service, but thankfully doesn't involve any particular danger. We do, however, see the security slice of our pie chart has 2 events. That's cause for concern, and that's something we'll probably want to look into and review with the appropriate supervisors so that we can make sure that in the future we have far fewer security events. But we can at least rest assured that as soon as we received a security event, we handled it promptly by following a standard operating procedure. We brought together all the video evidence, and we notified the particular responders right away. The final thing that I can demonstrate is if we have another type of event where something happens outside of the view of our particular video analytics configuration. Maybe we don't have any video cameras watching a particular area on the field, but we want to report an incident there. We also have the capability of creating manual alerts. I'm going to display manual alerts as well, and I'm going to go ahead and create one. By clicking New Item, I can select what type of data source I'd like to create an item for, and I'm going to create an instance of a manual alert. I select it and I drag it to the particular part of the stadium where the event or alert has been seen. So I've manually noticed that there's been something that's taken place on the field, and it's been a dispute turning violent between backup coaches. I think this is something that needs to be looked into. So I'm going to provide a little bit of information. I'm going to specify that, yes, that took place on the field. The start time will be filled into the current time because this is happening right now, and I'm going to go ahead and save that immediately. So now the Operations Center has a record of this particular fight, which is starting to spread and escalate, and that itself is going to be cause for alarm. Now, because this wasn't detected by the video, I don't have a video alert that I can show associated with it. I don't have a particular keyframe visible, but I do have, again, a permanent record of this particular dispute. Now, we're less concerned with things happening on the field than we are with things happening in the skybox. So if I were to create a manual alert related to something happening in the skybox, that would be of actually even higher priority. The last thing we want to see happen here is, for example, a man entering with a gun. When something like this happens, we really want to make sure that we trigger the standard operating procedure, just as you saw before. And in this particular example, we want to make sure that that standard operating procedure triggers automatically. Let's take a look at our activities and refresh. And we can see that the SOP was automatically triggered because we have a manual alert created in that skybox, one of our high security areas. Now again, we can have our operators, that's me teaming up with my video surveillance operator, quickly performing all of these steps, performing these activities in the prescribed order, and making sure that we assemble all forensic video surveillance evidence and associate that and notify the proper responders immediately, exactly as you saw before. Without going ahead to show all of that, I can jump back into my charts. Let's assume that this has been safely resolved. We had a responder head to the scene and solve this problem. And now we have additional information presented in our graphs. For example, we're also able to show the manual alerts. And we can see that the manual alerts are also taking part in our list and our chart. And really just adding another piece to the puzzle is giving us a full picture of the security and the safety of our stadium, which is, for all of us, the end goal.